Great. Call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Only for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'll confirm quorum by stating our name. President, I'll go first and then ask, we start from the left and work our way right. So Luke Freemuth, present.
Jack De Oliveira, present.
George Seaborn present.
Steve Turner present. Jim Campbell present.
All right, you have quorum. The next order of business will be to approve and or amend the minutes from our special meeting dated Tuesday, July 28th. Motion to approve the minutes. We have a motion to approve the meeting minutes, Tuesday, Tuesday, July 28th, 2026 by Jack De Oliveira. Do we have a second?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Yeah,
I will second.
okay, thank you. You know, he did it first. though.
No, I didn't. I was concentrating on reading.
All right. You okay doing the second?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Jack.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, so new business. We have a few items to discuss. First is the Board of Education, Chromebook lease. Chromebook lease.
They didn't send me a copy, so I don't have the actual document. It was a lease to lease more Chromebooks. And if you remember, it has to go to the Board of Finance and then it has to go to a town meeting
Yeah.
in order to sign the lease. But I know when I talked to Jeff, he was back in July. He said if we didn't do it back then, he wasn't going to have them in time for the start of school. So they may have figured something else out. I'm not sure.
Okay. Anybody from the board have any comments on that or? All right. Well, since we don't have a lease or anybody to discuss it right now, and given the current status that we have with the Board of Education budget, I'm not inclined to make any motions or accept any motions as it relates to spending from the Board of Education.
Move to table that issue.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next is a request from the EDC.
Yeah, so so the EDC held a business recognition event. Actually, they've held it 2 years in a row now. And they have businesses sponsor that event. And the account now has about $6,000 in it. And they'd like to change the name on the capital account to Economic Development Events, Marketing and Program account so that it can be used for events other than just that one business recognition event. They made a motion in the EDC minutes asking for your approval to make that change.
Okay.
I can give you the exact dollar amount. I'm sorry. It's $6,085.16.
So the intent is to not only use it for that one event that they've obviously had some success with, but to branch out and
Hold
do some
other,
additional
Yep.
outreach to the community.
Yep.
Okay, now is that an approval from us to go to the Board of Selectmen, or is that?
no, because the funds are already in capital and
Okay.
they are set aside for EDC events. It's just, the name was very restrictive and could only be used for that one event, so I couldn't let them use it for anything else. So they just need your approval to change the name and then
Then they can-
then they can
Yep.
spend them on other events.
All right. Anybody have any questions or comments on that? I'll entertain a motion George, if you want to do it, you'll know how to say it.
Luke. That's what they want to rename it to.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to change the capital account from the business recognition account to the economic development events, marketing and program account.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Trace.
Thank you.
All right, and lastly, a DPW.
Yep. So, as you may recall, I came to this board some time ago and said that, we would like to, compensate the crew leader for the work he's been doing, helping out as a partial, highway superintendent. So I've gone and, negotiated that, MOA. We have a set amount. It is approximately what we said when I first brought it here. Well, it's exactly that. What I'm asking you to do is to allow me to continue with that process. The MOA has been signed. It just needs the Board of Finance approval. The amount for, the process starts April 1st and will go until we seat a public services superintendent. So the amount to be charged to last year's budget is $1,434.48. And the amount to date in the 26-27 budget is $446.88 for a total to date of $1,881.37.
Okay.
So there is in last year's,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Go ahead.
So-
Go ahead.
yeah, in last year's budget, there is so there's a salary, there's almost $21,000 left on the salary line for last year's budget because of the gaps, both with the mechanic and the departure, the retirement of the highway superintendent. So there's money to cover that
Yeah.
in
And
salaries.
now in the current year, we have a budget, we have a salary budgeted for a superintendent. But there's nobody in that role
Yes,
currently,
yes,
right? But that role is also being altered
yes.
such that we're filling the head count, but not necessarily the exact spot. So, so it feels to me that this is largely offset by already budgeted salaries.
Yes.
Okay. Does that make sense to
I
everybody? I kind of
have a
stumbled.
question. Does the salary adjustment, if carried through this fiscal year, will that exceed what we've already budgeted for
Well, the answer to
superintendent?
the answer to that is no. However, we have already posted the job for the public services superintendent. We have received an application. We sat a hiring committee, which met just before this meeting, and we will start the interview process next week. I will, in parallel, start drafting a proposed contract to go along with that. I will be back here with that contract and how it's all going to unfold once we have identified the candidate and got down the road a bit with a contract.
But this stipend, if you will not survive
No,
past when we hire the new division.
no,
Okay, all right.
it stops as soon as we seat a public services superintendent.
So I think right now, probably what we're talking about is discussion around reappropriating funds, but not necessarily adversely affecting the overall budget
That's correct.
Right.
There is no impact to the budget. We'll be working within what was allotted.
Yeah.
What was already planned and agreed to.
If it falls within our salary line, do we need to vote on it?
No.
Said approved here, so.
Sorry, that was me.
Yeah.
That's just my
Just-
standard.
Just to
language.
discuss.
We'll discuss.
Okay, then, does anybody else have any other questions?
Isn't that the equivalent of like a public, public safety organization coming to us and saying they have like an overtime issue, they might be over this year or
Yeah, but I don't even think it's that, because so you have a role that's not filled right now, and somebody's helping backfill that responsibility. So we really have a vacant spot that we've already budgeted for. So I'm just gonna allocate some of that to the individual that's helping the town out right now, and then
Fair.
then they'll move back into their normal role and
Yes.
bring in the new individual. So.
Yep.
So I guess if nobody objects, then I think that you have our support as it relates to the reallocation, but I don't think you need a vote from us, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Handle Nate's memo with the 26-27 discussion for the Board of Ed budget, okay. Then we'll move to the 26-27 Board of Education budget. The Board of Education held a meeting last Tuesday. Last Thursday. To discuss the 25-26 and 20 overrun and 26-27 budget. And made a motion and passed the intent to go get a audit of their 25-26 financials and 26-27 budget with the intent to understand, kind of level set them with what their real spending is, and where the spending is going. And I don't know if you guys have any comments on that or any clarification, but really to try and get their arms around what their budget, what's actually in their budget, and what needs to change to deliver based on the budget that the town passed for the 26-27 school year. So they're in the process of doing a deep dive. Nate, the chairman of the Board of Education, has sent Rich and myself a request request for us to request this formal audit. You have in front of you the RFP, which has been drafted. If we want to take a little bit of time do you guys have had a chance to look at this prior to the meeting, or do you want to take a little time?
It wasn't drafted.
Okay.
Time to send it to you
Okay.
for review. I apologize.
No. But the idea is that they'd like to go out to bid in a normal bidding process to get some bids on what this audit would cost and what it would entail. I think, I don't want to speak for Rich, but I think he's in full support of it. And so we probably need to go ahead and vote on whether or not we want to go out to bid on this. Or would you just, we probably
At
don't
this
need a
point,
vote.
we just need direction to go ahead and do
Yeah.
it. And then once we get the quotes, then we'll be back for the
Right.
vote on whether.
I would prefer a vote, even though it's not required,
That's fine.
if you don't mind.
Yep.
And I'm happy to just top line a couple things, if you want me to top line a couple things
Yeah,
real quickly.
please.
Yeah.
So there are three phases or three elements for the scope of work. The first phase is overspend identification and root cause analysis. And we tightened up, there, some of you may have seen some prior versions of this. We tightened it up a little bit to focus in on just the object codes that were over budget. So not going in, we don't want to pay to have them look at, supplies and stuff like that when it wasn't affected. So that's the idea behind limiting the overall scope to those object codes. So the first piece is really about digging in and finding out, reconciling line by line where some of these expenditures happened, which accounts and programs could have, driven that, find out when that would have become apparent, and then, review anything that may have been done to offset those, and try and determine where those what decisions were made that caused the overspend. Again, that will require some interviews with key personnel from the education department, as well as the Board of Education Audit Committee, to figure out where some of these discussions were taking place. And that's primarily phase one. Phase two will be internal controls and process assessment. So again, taking a look at, okay, where were the variances identified? Were they flagged? Things like that. Who were they flagged to? The effort here is to identify any gaps in process that we need to close so this doesn't happen again. And then the last piece is recommendations and a corrective action plan. I won't go into a lot of details there. But the other piece that we added in to this is we will have a go, no-go decision after each deliverable, and we can terminate the agreement after each deliverable. Again, there are 3 phases, 3 deliverables. If we feel like we have uncovered the information we need to make our own corrective actions, we can stop right there. That's the plan. We've asked them to report bi-weekly by email all of the hours that they've committed to this project to date so we can track spending as we go along, to know where we are. That is basically the top line.
My first question would be, is there a timeline on the request for bids? Have you set that time?
Yeah, we're hoping to actually, if you all say yes, I will work on this tomorrow and we'll get it posted tomorrow for a 2-week period. We will also reach out directly to, we have a short list of 3. Do we have 3? 3 organizations we think are qualified already. So we're going to basically reach out, alert them that the bid has been posted, and ask them if they're willing to participate.
The idea here is that the Board of Ed set up a special meeting. We obviously set up our special meeting, trying to move on this as quickly as possible, because the clock's ticking now on the 26-27 year, and until we make any corrective actions, then we continue to be in the position that we found ourselves in. So, I guess having said that, do you guys have any comments or anything?
I would make. One more question.
You can have as many questions as you want, George. They're free.
Did the Board of Education have a positive vote on this going forward with this audit?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a unanimous vote to move forward. Yep.
Okay. I would make a motion then that we proceed with this request for proposals on an audit of the budget process at Board of Ed.
Great. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just have one comment and then I'll let you chime in. That last comment that I made is really, there's a sense of urgency here because, we're already a month and a half into the year, and it's a big number. And the other question, I was hoping that we would have some more information as far as where the 25-26 year has fallen out, so that we can start to to figure out how we can mitigate some of that exposure from a budget perspective. So I don't know if Adela or anybody's had a chance to pull any additional information together.
Did speak to Adela today, and she anticipates having updated numbers for you the beginning of next week.
Okay.
Which is the draft.
And her last day is next 14th, so this Friday. Okay, so hopefully before she leaves, we have some additional information. Okay, and then do we know who's steering the bus on that when she departs?
You hired it.
Okay,
Drafting that contract and getting them on board.
great.
I did just want to add.
Yep.
that Wednesday, we're not going to sit on our hands and wait for this forensic audit to be done. We had a budget meeting last Wednesday and we requested information from Adela, doing a dive on these specifics accounts. Using the information that we have, tapping our, the people that handle our insurance for us, Brown and Brown, to find out, internally where things have gone wrong.
Great.
So we are working as well as requesting this.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mr. Chair, we have speakers.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, just your, Yeah.
Horace McGee, Board of Ed member, 45 Woodbridge Lane.
thank you guys. So if nobody has any other comments or questions on that item, the next point or next item of old business is to approve the Board of Education request to appropriate capital funds. Again, given this current situation, I don't know that I'm inclined to approve any additional funding right now until we can figure out where we are and what's going on. I don't know if you guys had anything on that particular bullet or if that's just a carryover.
The custodian at Center School had reached out again, about having the work done on is it the cupola? So I can't remember now what he was asking for the money for, but
Now, there were two small projects.
the
right?
one small project you did approve, the 8,000 and change to do the sidewalk out here.
Yeah,
So that he was gonna move forward with. He didn't realize that had been approved, so he's gonna go ahead with that one. It's the fascia and I believe it's the cupola that they have quotes that they wanna get moving on, but.
Okay. Yeah.
They still, I don't believe they have 3 quotes though,
okay,
so
so
even if you approved it, they'd still have to go back and get more.
I have a motion to table that.
So
Like, oh, do I
I'll
have-
second it.
all right, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
opposed, motion carries. With that, we'll move to the,
motion to table the first second.
it's actually been a rich light night so far. so-
It has been.
Yeah, actually, I don't have anything. So you prematurely cut me off.
All right. All right, and then the Tracy, your finance director's report.
That's before we get into that, I apologize.
Okay.
So I have a staffing shortage in my office right now, and I would like permission to hire someone for no more than 8 hours every other week for the next 6 payrolls, so that I can have the time the attendance entered into the system, so that I can process payroll and get it done timely.
Yeah.
It's difficult to enter it and process it and get other
Right.
work done at the same time. So if it was 8 hours for those 6 payrolls, it would be just over $800. So I'd like permission to potentially overspend my budget by that amount. I will do my best to cut in other areas, but
Trust you all.
it's kind of needed.
Yeah, so we don't have anybody right now running payroll other than Tracy on top of all of her other duties.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the 25-26 is here. obviously the Board of Ed number is still a little bit in flux. And I have two open purchase orders on the town side. One is for a project that was started at the library, isn't quite finished, so I don't have the final bill on that yet. And the other was $1,200, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was for. I apologize. So, about 8,000 of open POs on the town side. And then I'll be able to close out the 25-26 year by the end of the month, as I always try to.
Okay, do we feel that's including the Board of Ed or?
The Board of Ed did a check run this afternoon. My numbers show that they're gonna be over 553, 167, but I need that from them to be. They were working, so what happens is, there's things that only hit the bank account.
Yeah.
You know, there's deposits, there's, grants that come in, and then there's also, payments that are automatically taken out of the bank account. Those weren't posted on the Board of Ed side. So I had given those entries for May and June to get posted so that we could true things up. The net number is not a huge number, but it will affect some of those lines that we've been talking about.
Okay.
So once they get those posted, then I can verify that that's the right number.
Okay.
And 26, 27, we're only a month in, so there's nothing
Yeah.
too crazy to report yet.
I guess just on the education piece, at being over by 553, which is a little bigger than what we've discussed up to this point. It makes sense to make light of certain items that we've discussed, that we as a board have discussed previously, that we were aware of and that we did budget for,
Yes.
including $89,000 and change as it relates to some early on
Health insurance.
health insurance items that we knew about, and they came to us, and we said that we could help, that we could cover with contingency. Also, $34,000 in change that relates to HVAC repairs, and another 90,000-ish
Yep.
as it relates to the I always butcher the
It's me.
AFSMI.
That's the retro contract.
So call that it's that 210,000-ish of the 550 that we've already budgeted for. So the delta now becomes 350 that we need to account for, or we're exposed to. So,
Yep.
That's what it is.
okay. Member comment? I don't know if anybody has. Okay, with that, public comment, please, any questions, comments? Give a second for people online here. Seeing no unmutes, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So. Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, meeting's adjourned.